Back here at this Canyon Lake build, you can see we've made some progress since our last video. We got our roof on, we got our final coat of stucco on in most areas. We can go take a look inside and see all the progress we've made there. All right, here we are inside. You can see we've done our wall out, we got insulated, we got our drywall sheetrock up, we got taped and floated texture, and now our first coat of paint is on. You can see in this home we have rounded corners on the sheetrock, so just a nice touch the homeowner wanted. Here we got our nice custom iron door, double door. It'll look real nice when we take this wrapping off. I like to protect it along the way, but you can see it steps out onto the entry foyer. Nice tall ceilings. You got your windows up top, bring in that lighting. And again, like we do on most of our homes, we got the tongue and groove ceiling, nice and tall. This stone is actually going to have to get reworked a little bit. Came in a little bit more wider than we would like, so we're going to bring it back about 5-6 inches each side, put the arch on top, try to open it up a little bit more. Here you can see our fireplace starting to take life. We got our stone from floor to ceiling, wrap around on all three sides. We got our braces here for our mantle. This will be stained cedar with a nice big cedar piece on top. And we have our cutout for our TV stand, our TV mount that'll go into the stones. That way it sits a little bit more flush with the stone. Something we go over with our homeowners during frame walk to make sure their expectations are getting aligned or what they might want to plan for. And obviously a power source there and then a data source. Here on the fireplace, a couple things point out. We have our raised hearth with a nice arch shape, goes with the flow of the house. This here, PVC, is stubbed out for where our gas key will be, so that's where you'll put your key in, turn your gas on and off. And then here on this side, we did leave space for an access panel per code, and you just always want to make sure you have access to your gas shut off there so you can turn it off at the source and you don't have to use the key. So that'll have a nice framed out access panel, but again, nice stone fireplace that's really starting to take life. Our French door here, our windows go down all the way to the floor, just adds that extra light out to that view where you can see the lake. And then obviously we move on here to the kitchen. That's our island wall. Next, we're going to have flooring start to go in, which should be, if not today, Monday. They're dropping materials, so we'll start getting that flooring in. But this way you can see what it looks like before and just keep the progress moving. Here you have your kitchen. Right off is a nice size pantry. You got your butler area here that's going to have a countertop that walks into your pantry. That'll be three-sided with shelves. So something we walk with homeowners, make sure everything's kind of to their expectations, functionality-wise. Part of the design process you want to think about when you're putting your plan together. We go over all these outlet heights. That way, if you're planning a microwave or a toaster, mixer, whatever it might be, you have those power points there. And then here in the entry, and this is a pocket door. I know we talked about that on one of the framing, but this will be a pocket door here. And then we have a pocket door here. So that frame extends all the way here. And we added blocking there so we can add our cabinets up top. So one thing you want to just think about, sometimes if you have pocket doors, it's a little bit tougher to hang things, but if you plan around it accordingly, you can make it happen. And then we have our secondary fridge here. We have our access point for power and then water. So just things you want to think about along the way, how it's going to work for you when you make it your home. Here in the living room, like I mentioned, we're going to start on our flooring soon. You can see this floor is marked. Unfortunately, when you pour a concrete slab foundation, it's not always 100% level. So you'll have some high spots or some low spots. So we'll grind down where we need to, level out in other places, make sure it's nice and smooth before we start that flooring. So that way you can get a look at what it looks like before and how it comes together after. So subscribe so you can see what that looks like. Definitely need to check out, and just when it's done right, it'll come out nice and smooth. This is a floor outlet here. That's what that box is. Just some of the little stuff that's part of the process. You can jump into the master. Here you can see we have a nice tall feature ceiling. Really opens up the space, makes it feel grand, custom, and then brings in that natural light. Again, all the way to the floor windows. We'll have our flooring tile butt up all the way up against that window. So subscribe, see how that comes out. Again, the rounded edges on the sheetrock, just the look this homeowner was going for. And you'll notice on offable windows, we go three-side stucco. That's because this plate is going to be pine wood, so that will have a base on it. That way, when water does get on it, it doesn't get soaked into the sheetrock. It's a wood surface that can be clean and is just a lot more stable. But we can look into the master bathroom here, see how that's coming along. Some of the things we've talked about along the way. Have our opening there. We have our tub we brought out so we can dry set it into this space. One of the first videos we looked at that recess that was going to be in the slab for the tub. So this homeowner had a particular height they wanted their tub to be. They're older, so they wanted to be able to get in and out. So we're adjusting it to the perfect height. It won't go all the way down in this recess. We'll fill in where we need to, have it set, and then the tile will go around. We'll have our grab bars here, so should be able to get in and out pretty nice, and just one of the custom features we were able to bring to life for this homeowner too. And we have our walk-in shower here, right behind the tub. Still at sheetrock, but we'll get this dried in, and then we'll start with our floor to ceiling tile here and just be a nice, beautiful shower and master bathroom area. We have our mixing valves here so you can turn the water on and off before it hits you, get it nice and warm, comfortable. You can see the shower heads, one on that wall, one on this wall, but both knobs are going to be here to turn on and off as you will. And then you got your shower niches, but again, just part of the process we walk with our homeowners, make sure it's to their preference on function. Here we have our kitchen back wall. Some of these things that are kind of penetrating out. These are going to be your under cabinet lights, so those will go right underneath the top of your cabinets. You have your water line here, that's going to be for a pot filler. And then you have your gas line here, your gas stub out there. We have a cap on it with a meter on it, so that needs to stay on there, and you always want to make sure it's holding pressure, which it is. So that gas line's good to go. And then you have your outlets. We like to turn those so that they flow with the backsplash a little bit better depending on the design. But our island here, we got our power coming here. There's conduit running to the stub wall, so that all feeds the island. But that's just some of the behind the scenes stuff that'll bring the kitchen to life. So subscribe and you can see how that all kind of comes together. And that's the vent hood there with the exhaust. So look real nice, real custom. So that's kind of what it looks like now, and we'll be able to see what it looks like later. One more thing before we walk outside, you'll see on our jams at frame stage, we walk those with our door supplier. We mark the size, what type of door it is, where the swing is, and we number it. So you'll see these guys are dropping off our doors and trim package now. So there'll be a number on the doors that correlates with the opening. That way everything's coordinated. If anything changed along the way during framing or structural, we have it handled beforehand. But we can walk outside to this porte-cochere. You can see some of that tongue and groove, this pass-through where the driveway is going to continue through. And then we can go take a look upstairs at that observatory area, see how that kind of came together and the view off of the top. Here we are above the carport that's underneath, just the observatory area the homeowner wanted to take advantage of, try to get the view of the lake. You can see if you come this way, it's going to be left the way it is now for them to potentially tile it later. We gave it a slope so it can all drain out this way. Definitely want to make sure you have drainage on it. Added a floor drain also just for extra peace of mind. And then on this, we can go underneath and see what it looks like. And we didn't want to eat into the space up here, so we did some drop down beams down below, wrapped them so they look real nice, so we can go take a look at what that looks like and then take a look at the outside, but all starting to cut them together real nice. The observatory area and a carport here, a pass through. You can see we have our drop beams here in case they do decide to have a party of 100 people up there or whatever. It's nice and strong. So those are running from top plate to top plate, supporting that floor. And then we wrapped it, we'll get it prepped, painted so it flows together with the space real nice and just gives it a decorative element when it's actually structural. Here on the outside, we've progressed with the stonework. As you can see, came together looking real sharp. Our stucco final coat in, the color blends real nice with the stone, something the homeowner and us were able to sit down and get some samples, make sure it came together nice. You have your water table there at the top of the stone so that water can drain off. Sometimes you'll see a capstone, but this particular home with the design has that stucco water table and that band across along with around all the windows. Some corbels up top, kind of just an architectural feature. Those aren't structural, it's all cosmetic, but helps it flow with the house and the design and the style the homeowner was going for. Right here on the back side of the house, you can see we have this little stone section we kind of maneuvered around. That's going to be our panel wall, so it has one consistent material to sit on, so your panels will be here versus having it broken up where it wouldn't be level. Working pretty solid on the exterior, made a lot of progress. Interior wise, we just had our doors and trim package dropped. We're going to start on flooring, which will go in, and then cabinets, and then we'll start on the trim and interior doors. So subscribe, follow along so you can see what that looks like here in a couple weeks.